Look, if you had come to me before and asked what's the best ability or curse technique in Jujutsu Kaisen is, I probably would have said Gojo's Infinity or something similar. I mean, that would obviously be the choice for most fans because, it's awesome and it belongs to Gojo. And it's broken as well, like imagine walking in this world completely invincible, where nothing can even touch you. But now, after watching the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, I've completely changed my mind. Give me Reggie Star's technique. Episode 10 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 was amazing. It wasn't the absolute best episode of the season so far, but it was still important and we are finally getting into the real stuff. We got the introduction of Reggie Star, who is currently fighting Megumi. And well, speaking of Megumi, you already know there is this whole narrative going around where a lot of fans call him a fraud and all that. And honestly, it just proves that some fans actually read the story with their eyes closed. They just follow whatever is trending on social media and base their opinions on that. In this episode alone, Megumi faced off against 4 opponents right from the jump, and did well on his own. He took on Remy, Chizuru Hari, Hazinoki, and Reggie Star. He killed one of them, like literally splitting his head in half, and only 2 were left. But anyways, that's a whole different topic for a different video. One of the biggest takeaways from this episode was how it showcased Megumi's brilliance as a sorcerer. It highlighted his high battle IQ and his ability to read the battlefield and analyze his opponent's techniques in instants, and even when fighting multiple enemies at once. But the thing that really caught my attention in the entire episode was Reggie Star's curse technique, Contractual Recreation. It is similar in a lot of ways to the use of Shikigami, but with a completely different form and set of rules. In my opinion, it's one of the most underrated techniques in JJK. I mean, sure, it's not overpowered or the strongest technique out there, but it is incredibly useful in combat. I really like the way it was used here, and I like the strategy Reggie built around it. The concept itself is very smart and, honestly, very well written. The whole idea behind it is that he uses pieces of paper like receipts and contracts and materializes them into reality using his curse energy. Like literally anything you can think of that the user has a receipt for, like doors, cars, motorcycles, drones, weapons, can be brought in real life to help in a fight. We saw him use drones to track Megumi and locate exactly where he is, and other items that are specifically designed and used to create openings and escape routes. And the thing here is that it's not just limited to physical objects. He can even recreate effects of services, like when he uses receipt for a 2-day spa stay to completely restore his stamina. Basically like a Shinzubin, you know what I mean? And the other cool thing about it is that he can give these materialized items simple commands, just like a Shikigami. He can summon knives or tools and direct them straight at his opponent. And of course, once an item is used, the receipt burns up and he can't use it again, which means it needs a crazy amount of planning. So this versatility makes the technique incredibly flexible in battle, allowing him to switch up his fighting style on the fly, depending on the situation, whether it's close quarters or long-range combat. And of course, the dude is literally wearing a suit made of thousands of receipts, so you can't forget about him running out of ammo anytime soon. Smart ass move, not gonna lie. And that's exactly how he played out against Megumi. By nature, Megumi isn't the type of sorcerer to rush recklessly into a fight, like Yuji usually does. He prefers to read his opponent first and understand their technique before making a move. But Reggie, having lured him into a trap, had everything set up in advance, then used his technique and multiple traps to pressure Megumi, forcing him into a defensive position that made him summon several Shikigami at once, which of course caused the draining of his curse energy. But at the end of the day, the game changer in this fight was the sudden entrance of Takaba, the wannabe comedian, who stepped in to help Megumi, with his stupid ass jokes and weird ass costume. No, but seriously though, his jokes aren't even that bad. The guy is actually pretty funny. I mean, yeah, maybe he goes too far, but he's not that bad. But more importantly though, he's a good fighter as well, and his arrival at the right moment turned the situation into a fair 1v1, and even made Megumi thank God that Takaba wasn't his enemy. Anyways, the fight ended on a massive cliffhanger, with Megumi backed into a corner where he decided to use his domain expansion because he was running out of options. And it is fair to say, this fight was never about who punched the hardest. It was a battle of strategy, adaptation, and who could understand the other person's techniques faster and use that loophole to win. Megumi basically realized that if he kept fighting the same way, he was going to lose. That's why he used his domain expansion, Chimera Shadow Garden, which, by the way, is still incomplete and lacks the sure hit effects that most domains have. So the next episode is going to pick up right there, and show us whether Megumi's gamble pays off or not. Don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. As for the animation in this episode, I would not say it was mind-blowing or on the same level as the previous episodes, but I still think it fit the episode well. The only thing that I honestly didn't like was that CGI explosion. Like, what is this? What stood out to me much more though was the directing, especially the way the camera angles were used to show the pressure Megumi was under during the fight. Yeah, you get what I mean. I also like the mental switch Megumi had after learning that Yuji and Higuruma had successfully added a new role to the calling game. I mean, that moment clearly changed his mindset because it meant he no longer had to worry about collecting or transferring points from his opponents and could finally fight seriously with everything he had. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode. I honestly don't know why some people are trying to push this idea that it was a weak episode. It was a solid one in my opinion. It had a few negatives of course, but with a lot of opposites, and good overall. And by the way, I'm currently working on a video about Megumi, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and turn on the notification. And with that, we have reached the end. If you enjoyed yesterday's episode, leave a like on this video, it really helps, and I'll see you.